This is the one right-handers typically like, uphill right to left.
Just lacking just a little bit more speed. Would have stayed inside the edges.
Okay. Yep. Don't start calling.
Still searching for his first birdie of the day. 4 pars in a row for Kim. As Colin mentioned, we head to the par 5 7th, one of the easier holes on the course. And an opportunity here to gain a stroke, and kind of slight dog leg right there, Colin, and some trouble down the right side, but we really have not seen any of these players have to deal with the trouble. Most of it tends to be more for the aesthetic than anything else with these players who hit it so straight.
Yeah, they've pushed this tee box up today some 17 yards to invite pretty much everybody in the field to have a bit of a crack at this green in 2. And the reason being, there it is, Sunday pin location down in that front right in the bowl. They call it. Those sea of white arrows all represent a spine that runs through this green. Anything that comes in the center of those white arrows, the center of the green, will feed around and run all the way down to the pin. You might see the biggest of birds here today, an albatross, but you're going to see plenty of eagles and birdies. Look at that, 163. You've already got 4 eagles notched up on this hole against just those 38 bogeys. This one has given up the most, 4 eagles here this week, the 14th. Par 4, it's given up 9 eagles, and of course the 15th, that's the easiest par 5 on this golf course here at the Quail Hollow Club, has given up 15 eagles all week. This is a great scoring opportunity. It's going to create some excitement later on this afternoon with our leaders.
No birdies at this hole this week, Joanna, for Kim. Would like to get a birdie here, get his round going a little bit.
That's right. Good tee shot, and then reward yourself. Got to focus on this one now. This looks good, right center.
Yeah, I could imagine this is a difficult tee shot here for Michael. He's got to stand up and aim it at that water down the right with that little patented draw. That one is right in the mayor's office.
Stand off the right, Paul? Yes.
Center cut. 2 good ones.
Tom's ball bounding past Michael's. Just over 300 yards off the tee here on the par 5 7th. An opportunity to get aggressive when we return. Featured group coverage from the 107th PGA Championship.
The PGA Championship being played in Charlotte, North Carolina, barbecue town. What's your go-to order when it comes to barbecue?
Depends on which barbecue. There's Texas barbecue, there's Korean barbecue, there's Japanese barbecue.
I do like barbecue. I will say tri-tip from California.
Charlotte, big on barbecue.
I don't think I've had North Carolina barbecue before.
Some ribs, pork, pulled pork, and some sausage.
Okay. I mean, that sounds amazing.
Burn ends all day long.
Do you have a preference when it comes to the region?
It's not a good question for me. I try not to do a lot of meat at home, so like I don't really go to barbecues.
Oh, now we're just making me hungry. That's an absolute tease to the broadcasters who have no barbecue in front of us. Eric Rothman, Colin Swatton, Joanna Coe. And you see M.Kim munching on something walking down the fairway here. I don't think that's any type of bacon in a wrapper or anything like that. But Colin, you have a preference on your barbecue order? You a barbecue guy?
I am actually a barbecue guy. I'm a little bit Victor Hovland like. I enjoy my pulled pork. I love my ribs. But you get those short ribs done on the barbecue in that nice sauce, a little crispy. Doesn't get much better than that.
I think I know what I'm eating later today. Joanna, you been eating well in Charlotte this week, Joanna?
I have. My preference, I love some pulled pork Sammy. I love collard greens, mac and cheese.
Oh, now you're really going in my direction.
It's really important.
As long as we're finishing it off with some banana pudding, that's where I come into play.
Of course, you've got to wash it down with a nice cold one.
Yeah, that's true. The conversation continues. T.Kim almost pouring some water on Paul Tesori's head there. That's some fresh seafood there for some of our local bird friends. Is that a crane of some sort? Not exactly sure what type of bird that is. It had lunch as well.
It's amazing how they can just turn those things around in their beak, make sure, of course, that all the scales go in the right direction.
And Joanna, are we looking at a traffic jam here, waiting for the green to clear?
We are. Gettable par 5, so I believe Austin Eckrow is finishing up. Players are going to look to be aggressive here. So, a little wait, but we'll proceed in a couple seconds.
Yes.
See the putt from the group in front of us. And the leaderboard, Scotty Scheffler, Alex Noren will be the final pairing today at 2:40 Eastern. Davis Riley, JT Poston at 7 under, and then John Rahm and Siwoo Kim. 6 under par. Nice surge for John Rahm yesterday, who is the best performance in a major since moving over to the Live Golf Tour. Still within striking distance, but I gotta say, Colin, you would say normally you're within striking distance, but when it's Scotty Scheffler who's up there, I don't know if you really are. Maybe some positive thoughts, but seems like it's Scotty's tournament to lose. As we take a look at the wind, Joanna, backing off M.Kim from this approach shot. We've got about 10 miles an hour right to left.
Yes, little gust there as he was approaching the ball. He has 208 to this whole location, like you said, in that bowl. Front of the green, 200. To cover the water, about 202. So ideally something just left of it and kind of ride that bowl. Probably something at least 205 in the air.
Well, we saw it in the flyover, that sort of edge of that ball. That is really on that 7. He's got to be inside of that.
This is left of the bowl, unfortunately.
Oh, he's turned it over again. That's the theme of the day so far. It might come back onto the green for him, but it won't get all the way down.
Expressed his displeasure on that one. T.Kim, 200. So about 192 covers the front edge. Buck 95 to the bowl. Wind is help. Probably 190 shot here.
5 under par to par 5s this week.
See him setting up there just a little left of the camera tower, trying to slide something in on that slope.
This is, I think, left of the bowl as well.
Ooh, boy, that's going to be a quick one. He's going to hit that putt literally 4 feet. You wake up.
Ideal.
I was going to say, you wake up, you see the pin sheet, and you can't wait to get to the 7th, and then you get there and you hit that shot, and you go, damn it!
Go back to bed.
Well, it's tough. You got water right. The mansion's on the right. It's not the easiest shot, even though it would look like an inviting hole location.
Getting distracted by the real estate and the beautiful views here at the 7th. You see some of those houses. So that is a little bit out of my price range. But what isn't out of your price range is attending the PGA Championship next year. Wanamaker Golf Club in Newtown Square, PA, just outside of Philly. Register for tickets. Visit pgachampionship.com/register. Registration closes soon. Joanna, any rivalry between the folks at Marion and the folks at Wanamaker?
Not at all. A lot of mutual members. Great club. Great Donald Ross gem there. Next summer, it's a big summer in Philadelphia. Starts with the PGA at Wanamaker. There's a Major League All-Star game and U.S. Amateur at Marion Golf Club in August. It's going to be awesome.
Spend your summer in Philly. Plenty of things to do. As Kim and T.Kim walking up to the green here on the 7th. Bit of a disappointing season, Colin, for T.Kim. Obviously, considering how he debuted on the world's stage, a lot of attention being paid to him. Just 22 years old, but he has 12 starts this year, 4 missed cuts, and aside from a T7 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, he has not finished inside the top 35 at any other event this year. So a little bit of a slump this season and just trying to get more consistent with his game.
Yeah, it's amazing how this sport has evolved over the years. You know, your players, like you say, Tom, not necessarily having the season that he wants, and he's made just shy of $1 million.
Not a bad job if you can get it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might need a touch more than that if you're to get one of those homes up on the hill here that look down on the 7th. Just some gorgeous real estate around when you get to this sort of pocket on the golf course. I've seen players over the years have this putt and actually putt it in the water. You've got to be so careful. It is extremely slippery down here. It's going to become a pivotal hole as the day goes on and our leaders start to work their way through here.
Both players facing extremely long lag putts here, but would love to make birdie on this hole. I'm sure it'll be a very low stroke average. Key to these putts, just finding a spot on the top of the crest. You almost have to read this in 2 separate putts. One from ball to top of the crest, and then crest to the hole. And then all about getting to kind of almost stop on the top of the crest and letting the hill take the rest of the way.
See where it gets that little bit of shine, changes color. That's that here that Joanna was referencing. Right about there. That's where it's going to pick up its majority of the speed.
Oh, that is really well judged.
T.Kim just like crossed his arms and just said, okay, we're going to wait for 6 seconds to see where this ball ends up. Very different line for Kim, but similar approach where you try to find a spot on the top of the crest and let the hill and gravity take over from there.
There's a great look now. That camera angle there really displays how much tilt it's got in this putt as well as speed.
Has a chance. Oh,
What a putt for Kim. An eagle here at the par 5/7.
That is certainly worth another look. Different angle here. High behind the green. Look at this thing pick up speed right through that period there, Eric. And this thing was destined to go one place only. 2 hands up for T.Kim. And a little fist bump for his caddy. Of course, Danny Stout. Double circles, they always look good on the scorecard, don't they?
What a putt. I think, Joanna, you really described it perfectly well. 2 different putts on one stroke. You saw it right there from Kim. You know, behind the ball angle, you could almost see it look like it was about to stop and then just trundles down that crest and into the hole. Well judged.
Yeah, I feel like your amateurs are at home. They would look at that putt and say, oh, this is so difficult. But honestly, if you get that first read and just get it to start dying down that hill, it's not the hardest putt for a tour pro and for anyone. Just changing the philosophy. Uphill right to left for T.Kim.
Made that one back at the 3rd for birdie from just outside 7 feet. Similar distance here.
So Tom and Michael combined to go 3 under par here at the par 5/7. Everybody happy walking off the green and heading to the 8th hole. Second shortest par 4 on the course, measuring just 315 yards here on a final round Sunday.
Yeah, they had this pushed out at 353 yards in round 2, but today, given the pin location, given the magnitude of the day and what's up for grabs, they have pushed it forward. They're going to give everyone a shot here. Just 299 yards to the front of the green. You're going to see pretty much everyone have a crack at this green here today, and you can see that pin location over in their far left-hand portion. All those arrows to the right of this flagstick will allow you to push something in here pretty close. This is going to be a pivotal hole, as that we saw at the 7th also. We've seen the one eagle here already. And look at that, 124 birdies, just 41 bogeys and 7 unfortunate hiccups. All adds up to 3.82. A hole that everybody knows they need to take advantage of. And even these guys, I think, will be giving this one a little bit of a clip.
This is just right of the big oak tree. Hopefully it stayed right of that. Then I'll have no tree problems.
Well, he's got it just a touch above the hole here. That makes it a little bit trickier. And coming out of that rough.
Again, a little left off the tee.
Straight down, play.
A little off your right, bud.
Little help off the right. This caddy reassuring him.
gallery line up on the left-hand side, left of the green here. He'll get some activity today.
It sure will. I don't think I would sit there. This one's fading beautifully.
Just over faded, caught that green side trap short right. That'll be a lengthy bunker shot.
Just missed clearing it by a foot or two. That was a really aggressive swing there from T.Kim. Moving right along on our featured group coverage.
He has won his 4th PGA.
He has taken the torch and he's running with it. Phil's fanatics rejoice. A phenomenal talent and a major champion.
Big names taking home the Wanamaker Trophy over the years. Colin Swatton, longtime swing coach, and partner with Jason Day, you saw there on that vignette, and we see where our two players wound up off the tee here on this gettable par 4. And before we get to that, Colin, what was that like watching Jason take home the Wanamaker Trophy back in 2015?
Yeah, it was a pretty special moment, you know, to be side by side caddying for him, and you know, being part of that victory. It was really, really good. And obviously, too, going up against, you know, Jordan Spieth. He was the #1 player in the world at that point, and it was really just a ding-dong battle all day. But to be able to get it done, you know, get your hands on that Wanamaker Trophy, chalk up your first major championship, a very, very special moment for Jason.
Kim walking off the bunker shot that he has here, Joanna. Took the aggressive line off the tee, and it's tough for us to see, but where is his ball in that bunker?
Clean line here, decided between a couple clubs. He just has to navigate this little ridge that sits just short and right of this whole location. See, they're deciding about what's going to get there, so they're trying to get this ball to roll out. I'd rather have T.Kim's shot than Mickelson.
Great camera angle there from down low behind the bunker there for T.Kim. You can see just how much elevation he needs on this one. Pin way over in that left portion up on that shelf.
That was not the right zip to it. Didn't seem committed over that one with that club selection. Perhaps it was a bit too much club mentally, and then just slowed down.
I think that was exactly the case. You could hear the conversation from the back and forth with Paul Desori. You know, Paul said that is 100% the right club. You've just got to match your backswing, follow through. But you, I think, hit the nail on the head, Joanna. I think he thought he had the wrong club, made an uncommitted swing, and that is the result.
And M.Kim was over near the gallery. He had an okay lie. The grass was laying with him, but just no green to work with. So he chose the little bumper into either the fringe or the first cut of rough and missed his landing spot, and now has to work for his birdie. But again, I would have selected T.Kim's shot all day.
Yeah, this pin location, and given the fact that they pushed this teeing ground up some 17 yards, you know, invites pretty much everyone to go at it. If you get above this whole location or right of it, you're in a, or left of it I should say, it's world of pain. Now Kim.
T.Kim's looking at the fringe in front of him, hitting a little bumper into it. Man.
Goodness.
He's making a mess of this hole.
I don't know if that club selection for where his eyes were looking for that landing spot, maybe that's more of a, you know, a gap wedge. Get that ball driven into the hill to have enough ball speed to head up that hill. So it seemed like a little too much law for that shot.
Yeah, these greens, or these rounds, and of course are all Bermuda, overseeded with the Poa Triv, just to give them that nice green tinge.
This was that second shot from M.Kim that Joanna was describing. We didn't get a chance to see it live, but yeah, really tough to short side yourself there, Colin. Absolutely no green to work with, especially on that downhill lie that Joanna was mentioning.
We saw that huge bomb he made back at the 7th. Really fast putt down the hill. He's going to have another one here at the 8th. But before we see that, I think T.Kim's going to bring his on, albeit he's close to the hole. He's
maybe not.
No, maybe not. All right, here's that putt we were referencing, Joanna.
Yes, downhill, right to left. Green has some green switches here. Quick one.
Following up the eagle at the 7th hole was a 65-foot putt for M.Kim, and that 33-foot birdie putt there here at the 8th hole runs a little bit past.
These little short par fours can play with you mentally as a player. It's like now we're struggling to make birdies and pars here, when it's like you think back, oh, I could hit a 7-iron and a wedge on the green, had a good look.
So true. That's why we love this game.
That's right. Move to the left at the end, uphill.
Bad hole got worse for T.Kim after that tee shot found the bunker and then not committed, as Colin and Joanna mentioned, to that bunker shot. So sandwiching the birdie at 7 with bogeys at 6 and 8. M.Kim will remain at 4 over par for the championship. And we head to the 9th hole, one of the tougher holes on the course historically. A long par 4 that got even longer this year, Colin.
Yeah, they tacked on another 25 yards. I didn't think 500-yard par 4 was long enough, so they made it 532 yards. Look at that. It's the longest that this hole will play all 4 days here for the PGA Championship. Sweeping dogleg from right to left, bunker down the right, trees all down the left. If you miss it in the left fairway, the left rough there, you will be blocked, have no shot. And the pin location, they've given it a little bit of reprieve. We saw it in the front pocket there yesterday, made it incredibly difficult to get to as these greens got firmer, but now in the back right, we may see a few more birdies added to that total of 20 that we have seen so far this week. 116 bogeys and 5 others. That's the reason it's playing like a par 5 would normally. Any 2 a week at 4.27. Tough stout hole, that is for certain.
His best one of the day.
As Joanna said, just 3 of 6 fairways, 50% of the fairways. That one's a good start here at the 9th for Michael.
With T.Kim, you feel like on 7 and 8, you lose, 2 shots with making a bogey there, if not 3 shots of the field.
3 pars already this week.
This one's fading a bit too much. Catching the rough.
Disappearing in the rough down the right side for T.Kim, so maybe on tilt a little bit after the rough 8th hole. He'll try to regain his composure here before making the turn at Quail Hollow Club. About 4 hours away from our leaders teeing off here in Charlotte. Scotty Scheffler, 2:40 tee time with his playing partner Alex Noren. Good to see Alex back out after a long time on the sidelines with a hamstring injury. I believe I read yesterday 31 weeks where he had not played competitive golf. Returned last week, and now in just a matter of 7 days or so is contending for a major championship. Scotty Scheffler 5 under over his last 5 holes. Best 5-hole stretch in any major round yesterday. Led the field, fairways hit, had that beauty for eagle at 14. And nearly 3 strokes gained off the tee. So the driver working for Mr. Scheffler yesterday.
Yeah, known as a prolific iron player. You put that man in the fairway 13 or 14 times, and he's going to do exactly what he did yesterday, fire that beautiful 6 under 65. And you mentioned Alex Noren with that layoff, you know, for him to fire a 5 under 66 and get to within, you know, pretty good striking distance is credit. He is one of the hardest workers out on tour. Get an opportunity to take a look at his hands. They are just like leather.
Copy or no?
T.Kim is a 258 out of the right rough. He's sitting on a little tuft of grass. Actually got kind of fortunate, so that's why he has a fairway medal in his hand. They can get something on the back of the ball here. Just to put things in perspective, we're about 15 yards ahead of the most forward tee here in the 9th hole, so this is a beast. Par 5 for me, guys.
It's par 5 even from this tee box for me.
Yeah, pretty good contact out of that. That was all because of the lie. Get a lot of club on that one. M.Kim, 240. Wins a little help off the left. Needs to start this just left of it. Another left shot from M.Kim. He's going to miss the green most likely.
And it does over there on the left side. He's throwing his head back in frustration. And I'm wondering, Colin, if any of the consistent miss to the left for M.Kim has anything to do with the lingering back injury that he dealt with last week, having to withdraw from the Truist Championship midway through. And whether it's hurting him or not, you just never know if there's just something in the back of your mind that's making you question what your normal swing is because you don't want to re-injure yourself.
Yeah, well, there's such a thing as injury sort of anxiety. What happens is, you know, a player, you know, in this case, you know, M.Kim, that sort of pulled out of an event with a back injury last week. Certain positions create certain feels, and if that feel is painful at all, what they tend to do is they make a swing or an adjustment in order to not do that, or swing with just a little bit more apprehension. And definitely watching, you know, I haven't got a lot, you know, got the opportunity to watch Michael for 18 holes a lot when I'm out on the golf course doing what Joanna's doing. But, you know, it's the first time I've watched him. He doesn't necessarily get through it as much as I would like to see from a coaching perspective. When a player holds back a little bit like that, they do use that club head and close that club head a little bit too much on the swing through, and that's also adding to it. But yeah, definitely not quite sure if that injury that you mentioned just has a little bit of a thought in the back of his mind.
Eric Rothman here along with Colin Swatton and Joanna Coe. Joanna doing a great job walking the course with our groups all week long. An abbreviated round of feature group coverage yesterday, but getting all 18 in today as the weather has been ideal. Conditions on this golf course have been fantastic. A tip of the cap to the grounds crew and the superintendent and everybody who has done a great job of maintaining this golf course in championship form all week long despite the weather.
Mercury's supposed to get up north of about 80 degrees today. What little wind out there is actually coming from the west at the moment. It's supposed to take a little bit of a shift in direction and sort of come more out of that west-southwest as the day goes on and get a little bit more frisky. It's supposed to be above 10 miles an hour as the day gets on, as the leaders start to get ready to go out and play around about sort of noon and onwards, it'll get a little bit windier. That'll dry the course out a little bit, especially the greens, make them a little firmer, a little faster.
I believe Kim first to play. They're kind of signaling to each other. He drew a not so nice lie in the rough here. He might be waiting for the first tee. He might be playing. Fortunately, there's a lot of green to work with. We'll have 0 spin. It's kind of a guess out of that lie, how much it's going to trundle, and contact just gets tougher and tougher. Not as predictable. Kim, interesting not having him mark it. I feel like it's really close to his line. He's got a slope off the right, off the bunker.
Yeah, 5 over par and a couple of drop shots in the last few holes from will sort of create these moments where you see a player like Tom not asking Michael to mark.
I had some grab to it. I missed this spot by just a couple paces there.
Yeah, it just gives you a little insight as to where their head is mentally. He would have been really annoyed if he had to hit that ball, Joanna.
I know. I think I would have had him mark it, but maybe it was a good line for him. Good visual.
Again, around the green is where Kim has really excelled this week, and that has not been the case here the past couple of holes.
We talked about it early in the telecast. You know, you made a great point, Eric, in saying, these guys, they're not going to win today. Let's be fair. But at the same time, what are they going to try and take out of it? It's going to be interesting watching Tom over the next, sort of 5 or 6 holes. Obviously, he's made a couple of sort of unforced bogeys. Now not asking Michael to mark his ball, left with a lengthy one. So much of it is playing yourself out of something, not necessarily playing yourself into something. And he's got to be careful. Like you mentioned, he hasn't had the greatest of seasons. It's easy just to sort of say, oh well, I'm just going to mail it in from here on in. You've really got to always be working on your craft, trying to get better.
This one looks pretty straight to me. I got a good look at it from the back of the green, but easy to read into this one.
3 bogeys in the last 4 holes for Kim.
Did that move? Did that move left at the end, or did he start that left? I couldn't tell.
Well, he started at a touch left, but it did wiggle it just a little bit to the left as well.
It's an interesting little hole location because there is influence off the bunker, off their right shoulder. But then where Tom is standing right now is a low point of this green, so a little deceiving here.
It's been a good mix of pin locations out here today. Golf course just playing a little bit easier than it has.
Oh, both players missing left.
Yeah, that low point off to the back of the green, back right, left of our screen. That's what is affecting their ability to get a good read on that one.
Both players making the turn with a bogey. And for the Corebridge Financial team of 20, this week has truly been a dream come true, with memories made for a lifetime.
Being on the Corebridge Financial team is an extreme honor. To be able to represent our organization of PGA professionals and associates. They've been a fantastic organization to support the PGA professionals.
Us 20 guys, we're representing 30,000 people. It means the world to us.
My wife and kids were in the clubhouse. My wife had sent me a picture, and Scotty Scheffler was playing with my kids on the ground. just to have those experiences is incredible.
I'm playing a practice round today with Rory, Shane, and Padraig Harrington. I work at the Bears Club in Jupiter where there are members. They got a hold of me and contacted me and said, let's play a practice round. There's going to be a crowd, so I've never really done that.
My locker's right next to John Rahm, Adam Scott, all those guys. Just being in the same room as them is pretty special.
Hopefully we can all show up and show out for everybody.
What a cool experience for the PGA professionals. The Corebridge Financial team of 20. We got a PGA professional teeing it up in a PGA Championship coming up soon. Joanna, you getting ready for your time to shine?
That's right. PGA Frisco, mid-June. I believe it's my 6th appearance. 6 or 7, losing track.
That's a good thing to lose track of if you've been there so many times. Very cool. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Heading right, little one-handed follow through.
Still going down towards the cart path now into the pine straw. Wheels falling off a little bit of our group here, guys.
Yeah, look at that. Front 9, 1 under, +7 on the back 9. Obviously hasn't had the greatest of finishes. 18 has just worn him out all week. But yeah, had a tough little stretch yesterday on the Green Mile. Last 3, 16, 17, and 18. Caddy's getting a little reprieve here. Michael Kim's caddy doing a little caddying.
Danny Stout conserving his energy on the fairway here at 10.
Incredible. Unbelievable. You ought to kiss that putter, Lee.
It's a great one. He knew it.
Absolutely gone wild. Tenth hole, longest on the course. Both players missing to the right off the tee on this par 5. Michael Kim seems to be in much worse shape down there by the cart path in the pine straws. And you can only see the virtual trees, Joanna, but the real trees, I imagine, are even more daunting.
They are. I'm getting to his lie now. I was actually looking at Tom Kim's lie as well. Yeah, this is tree jail over here, so most likely going to be a punch out. He does have a branch sitting right next to his golf ball, so I don't know if he can move that without moving the golf ball. T.Kim is going to be frustrated with the lie that he drew. I don't know if you can see his caddies looking into it. It's like into a hole. It's going to just be a slash and let it trundle down the fairway here. So both players not in good positions for this green and 2.
Yeah, this whole sort of right side of the fairway, and then once you get off this right side of the fairway, all the way down to this cart path that you can see now in frame, it is all sort of camber and tilts down in there, and you can see exactly what lies ahead. You get all these oak trees down the right side, makes it extremely difficult to create an angle at this green.
T.Kim will be first up. Again, terrible lie. This one you need some grip strength, steepness, some speed. Just try to control the club face.
So easy for the grass to grab the hosel of the club, turn it over, shut it down.
Yeah, really good.
That was great, and that ball did not go very far for a Tour Pro. That was a brutal lie. Michael Kim over near the bar. Little gallery around him.
Fairly straight-faced club.
Punching it, needs to sit, but clean contact.
Getting back into a position we can make something happen here at the par 5. You mentioned, Colin, the second 9 struggles for T.Kim here this week. He's 9 over par on the Green Mile, and obviously if you know that in the back of your head, if you're T.Kim, you're like, well, before I get there I need to get some momentum going in order to kind of make sure I've got my head on straight, make sure I'm playing my best golf before I hit that stretch of holes 16, 17, and 18.
Yeah, you've got to really cherry pick your way around Quail Hollow Club. You know, not your traditional 4 par 5s, only 3 on property. A couple of good opportunities with drivable par 4s. The one on this backside, 14, and we saw the 8th on the front side.
Okay with that.
So plenty of opportunities.
73 adjusted. Trying to 73.10. Front's going to be 55. 60. Yep. Yeah, should be off the right as well. Yeah, those flags are all showing. That should be half and half. Yeah, if you hit that, bud, you have got to hit it. I would say you have to add at least 2. Probably playing 55 right now.
Still think it's ever going to stop.
I agree. I like it. Just add 2. Don't know more than that. Just add 2. Those flags are showing us off the right still.
You can hear his caddy say it's going to play 168. Downhill, winds help off the right. This is one in the practice round. You would never think you're going to have this much club as your 3rd shot on a par 5. Pin's tucked on that left side.
Yeah, nice swing.
Solid strike right at it.
Nearly hit the flag on that first hop there, Colin.
Yeah, you can see that little color change there as well. This pin location right up on top of what I would class as a little bit of a wrinkle in the green, sort of going from a low point up to a high point, then from a high point back down to a low point. And you could hear the conversation was, you know, I don't know if it'll stop. Michael Kim playing quickly.
I couldn't check out his lie, but Might have been sitting down. Unfortunate for that ball to just roll out to the rough when he was punching out from the trees. So he is in a low point, but will be chipping across the green.
We saw the drain cap down there on the front right of the green here at 10. And that gives you an idea of what lays ahead. You can see the shiny part of the green. That represents obviously down grain. And then the darker shade closer towards us is into the grain. So that's that little wrinkle. And that creates a little bit of difficulty. He's going to probably have to surf the crest of the wave here a little bit on his pitch.
Well, with his left miss today, he knew he wasn't going to miss left with this pin. That would be jail.
Yeah, good point.
And a reminder that you can follow 4 different feature groups and holes on ESPN+. Rory McIlroy, Christian Bezuidenhout, as well as Xander Schauffele and Sam Burns, Tommy Fleetwood and Colin Morikawa, the other 3 featured pairings. And then holes 14, 15, and 16 are your featured holes today. I believe that's Sergio Garcia putting on the bottom right of your screen. It's been so fun to be a part of this expanded featured group coverage over the last few years with ESPN+. And Colin, hope we get a chance to do it next year. Maybe we can all 3 of us, we could crash at Joanna's house and go to a Wanamaker together.
We'll run it back.
That would be a special treat, wouldn't it?
Colin, we'd have to chat about Jason Day at Marion, that final round.
Oh, I know. Don't remind me.
Michael Kim, he's a little downhill lie, opening the blade wide open, looking to hit this over the ridge in front of him with a little spin. He nipped that beautifully, just checks up. That was a really difficult shot. One of those, a million different ways to play it, either bump into the hill, get it moving up that slope, or take the slope out of it completely, which is what he elected to do, and had the blade wide open because a little bit of a downhill lie. So ball's going to launch a little lower off that downhill slope.
We just had another look at that. Beautiful technique there from Michael Kim. Nice width on the way back, width on the way through, using the body to turn and move that club. I think very, very solid little pitching action.
It reminded me of some Jason Day dead hands width, right? I mean, a lot of times my students think they need crazy wrist action to get the ball in the air. It's just not the case. It's all about loft and your turf interaction.
Yeah, well said. I know when I started working with Jason back when he was 12, and we talked about the dead hands and trying to take the wrists out of it, encourage a lot more body rotation, body turn, use the bigger muscles to support the motion. You know, who would have thought that over the years it would have developed one of the finest short games in the world. His highlight reel is pretty full. Now Kim for par.
Moving to his left in the beginning, but going to straighten out at the end. Almost could creep a little tiny bit right as it enters the hole. Yep, right there.
Great read. You gotta wonder too how much of, I play in sunglasses, and I suffered some snow blindness when I was a kid, but also too when you get the darker lenses in the glass like Michael Kim has, sometimes I find it a little bit difficult to see all of the movement in the greens. Would you agree with that, Joanna?
I would agree. I feel like it's also all about consistency though. Practicing in the same sunglasses, playing in the same sunglasses. You just don't want them to be different, or else your eyes will play tricks on you.
Yeah, the research sort of says that You got a little bit of a glimpse as he sort of just adjusted his sunglasses there, just how dark those frames are. The research says the lighter colors, the more amber colors actually pick up the green contours a little bit better than the darker, you know, shade of lens.
This could go a hair to Tom's left. Good opportunity here, though. Not a lot of movement.
I feel he just needs this one for feel good. Buries it.
Starts the second 9 with a birdie. Bounce back after those back-to-back bogeys at 8 and 9. Back to even par for the round and 5 over for the championship. And a par 4 dogleg left here at the 11th.
Yeah, it's such a great hole, this one. 2 bunkers down the left-hand side. They can create a challenge, but also, too, you can see that turning point at 300 yards. We see a lot of players hit it through the fairway here and find the tree trouble down the right-hand side. Pin location today here at the 11th will hardly look like it's on the green from the fairway here. Slightly elevated from the fairway to this green complex. And also, too, you can see one of these greens that sort of has the uphill to the center part of the green and then downhill to the back of the green. It's going to make it challenging to get it close today. 40 birdies against those 108 bogeys, 13 others, 4 1/4 pretty much. Playing as the 6th most difficult hole so far this week, and a lot of that has to do with this tee shot, Joanna.
It sure does. With a lot of these guys loving to fade it, it's a really difficult tee shot. T.Kim, more of a straight ball hitter, though. This one, that second bunker, don't think that's going to cover.
Almost a blueprint of the shot we saw when we covered him earlier in the week. Sort of took that one hop on the fairway and then kicked down into the bunker.
This one is just right of the fairway bunkers, drawing nicely here. Yeah. Actually rolling out.
Well, that has been his go-to shot all day. He's been fighting it a little bit, but that went perfect.
Kim looking to bounce back after back-to-back bogeys. In good position here at the 11th. PGA of America and more than 30,000 PGA of America golf professionals. We love this game. And we welcome you back to the 107th PGA Championship here at Quail Hollow Club. The youngest fans enjoying a stroll. Got the fan going, that's the life right there. Scotty Schauffele with the 54-hole lead. It's the most 54-hole leads since the 2019-2020 season. Scotty with 15. Xander the next closest with 9, and Rory John Rahm behind him.
It's amazing to see the dominance that Scotty Schauffele is displaying.
And T.Kim, Colin catching that bunker down the left side. And you see the elevation there from where T.Kim is deep in that bunker. So go 20 feet of elevation up towards the green.
Yeah, that is such a cool graphic. You know, sometimes on TV it doesn't necessarily do it justice with regards to the movement of the golf course, both up and down, left to rights. And that is really, really cool. Obviously a little bit further down and a little bit more elevation for T.Kim, simply because he's in the bunker.
Mickelson is actually away 185 yards here. Plays up about 5. So 190. Wind's sitting down right now, pretty calm.
Back pin location. There's not many paces behind it.
Sounds like a good strike, just a touch right of it.
That one just rolling out to the back edge of the green. Just flew it straight on top of that little crest that we saw in the flyover.
T.Kim has 176. Plays up about 6 or 7 yards from over here. So a bit over 180. Ball is sitting down a little bit. Not the cleanest lie for a fairway bunker. Tough to make perfect contact out of this.
Yeah, we got a bit of a look at that lie just a few moments ago.
Needs to get up a little bit. Okay. Looks like it's chasing towards the flag.
And it certainly is. That is a great lie from a great shot from an average lie there for T.Kim. Made birdie back at the 10th after bouncing back. That little unforced bogey at 9, and now with a good chance here again at 11.
T.Kim definitely has the game and the talent to make a run and to string together some birdies. It's just been very up and down this season and this week. 3 birdies and 3 bogeys on the card today. Puts that approach shot 12 feet 6 inches below the cup. Mickelson off to the right about 18 feet.
Yeah, just talking to some of the camp for T.Kim there. You know, sometimes it's easy to sort of look at a season and say, you know, it's been a little bit disappointing. He hasn't been able to finish things off. And, you know, for T.Kim, it's just been a situation where he's played, you know, 14, 16 great holes. And then suddenly, you know, he has those little moments where he plays maybe a 2 or 3 hole stretch where he you know, really just records, you know, doubles and bogeys. And then suddenly what goes from a really good round of golf just becomes a sort of a ho-hum okay round of golf. And I'm sure the team of people that he has around him, you know, led by his bagman there, Paul Desori, sort of all rally behind him, sort of make him aware that, you know, there's moments in time where we've maybe just got to cool the jets a bit, Starsky, and, you know, and maybe play a little more conservative, maybe a touch more aggressive, and sort of make things happen a little bit more for Tom. But it won't be long until he's back in the winner's circle.
Colin, is that something you would diagnose as like a focus issue, kind of lapse of focus for a couple holes?
Yeah, I think as a team, you know, as a coach, and, you know, and Joanna can probably chime in on this as well, is that, you've got to kind of leave no stone unturned. You've got to look at the statistics. You've got to look at the reality of the situation. That's what's happening with Tom Kim and his season. But then you've got to look at the reasons why. You know, is it nutrition? Is it diet? Is it, you know, taking in enough fluids to remain, you know, not get dehydrated? Is it a situation become too aggressive, maybe not aggressive enough? So, you know, it's about sort of peeling the layers of the onion back to try and find what's actually going on, as opposed to just sort of saying, hey, this is what's happening.
Absolutely. It's usually something small, low-hanging fruit that can make the world a difference, not some massive swing change.
Yeah, well said. Everybody always wants to go to the well to try and fix something when, like you say, it can sometimes be just the simplest of things.
This one's actually going to travel to his right towards the back of the green. Good opportunity.
Tap in here for Michael Kim. And that big eagle putt at the 7th hole. Par here, coming off back-to-back bogeys his last 2 holes. Did not miss by much.
Talk about that big bomb that he made back at 7 from just inside 70 feet. Other than that, his longest putt that he's made through that front 9 is 3 foot 9 inches.
This could creep a little to his left. Not a lot to this one, though.
That one slides by for Tom Kim. That range 10 to 15 feet. He is only 1 of 6. Make that 1 of 7 for Tom Kim on the week.
Move on to the 12th as Tom Kim and Paul Tesori try to figure out what they misread on that putt there at 11. Par 4, that narrow fairway. It's the hardest fairway to hit back in the 2017 PGA Championship. And I got the pin today, Colin, kind of just below that midline ridge of this green, so things will funnel back if you go a bit long.
Yeah, it's a tricky pin location, this one. It's up on top of what we reference and will call as a crown. So obviously the arrows at the front represent the false front. The white arrows that run sort of in that sort of west-east direction is that shelf. But also, too, there's a huge fall off there. You can see the scoreboard down there in the left-hand side of the picture frame there. That is a low point. So anything that sort of comes in off that shelf, grabs that low point, will be actually rejected down and off the green. Great work there, too, from the hard-working Canberra crew to sort of provide us a little bit of a look of the undulation on this green. It looks like an easy pin location. It can be, but you've got to really attack it from the left-hand side of the fairway as we find Tom Kim back on the tee box.
Looks like driver in hand. This one starting up the right, fading a little bit, needs a nice hop.
Hops into the rough there and missed fairway at the 12th.
Straight down right now.
Been interesting watching these guys with their rangefinders. We've seen the majority of them using to basically have a look where the ball is as opposed to yardages. It's pretty cool.
Using him as binoculars.
I was going to say, I think you can bring binoculars, can't you, if you want to?
I know, right? This one drawing. This looks nice. Left center.
He was way over on the far left-hand side of the tee box to try and create a little angle for that draw that we've seen pretty much all day. That's a pretty good spot.
Making our way through the back nine here of our featured group coverage. 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow Club. Quail Hollow is for the birds this week and the turtles. And we've seen some snakes and ducks and putting our wildlife hats on here today, Colin.
Yeah, that's all sort of. Oh, is that blue heron? What is? Oh. Hello. Watch out. Sean McKeel.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sean didn't realize that he was going to have to deal with a snake in the middle of the fairway this week. Being cautious, walking around it.
I want to get my yardage, but at the same time, I don't want to get bitten.
Final round coverage continuing here. Eric Rothman, Colin Swatton, Joanna Coe with you. Safari Planet, Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. Joanna, any animal encounters this week for you other than the barbecue you've eaten?
Zero, thank goodness. I have a tendency to attract bees, so far so good.
Huge build out at these major championships. See what looks like a corporate grandstand up there, up to the left of the 12th green. That wraps around with a balcony and a porch, so you can just make the short stroll around that balcony, and you can watch the tee shots at 13. The tee shots, of course, at 14. The drivable par 4. There are just so many amazing places to take the golf in as you walk around this property.
Both players have 124 yards. T.Kim found the rough. Okay lie. I would say it's a B-. Gonna have to hit this just left of it. That right greenside bunker does creep into his line just a touch. But with the rough, should take off the spin. Get it to trundle up there just a touch.
They did push this tee box forward some 21 yards from what it was yesterday. Now playing 442, so even if you do miss the fairway a little bit, as Tom's done, you're down far enough. You don't have too much tree trouble, but they're back and forth over the club selection again, Joanna.
Yeah, we're feeling some help wind now. It's more so just judging how this ball will come out of the lie. Most likely a wedge in hand. Just how much it's going to roll out. Kind of punch something. This is hot. Sit.
There's a little backstop there, but watch this one, folks. Puts the left indicator on. And then there's that slope I was talking about. This may not stay on the green. And, oh boy, that is a good break there for T.Kim. Didn't catch that little wrinkle to the back right.
So a little unlucky for Mickelson. He has found the fairway, but some mud on his ball on the back left side of the golf ball. So with this pin tucked just a hair right and bunker right and some tough slopes to the right, he's going to aim this left a bit at the TV tower. Make sure that that mud doesn't play some tricks on him. Yeah, knuckling a little bit, but good conservative play.
Now, unfortunate break there to pick up a little mud, especially on a scoring hole with a scoring wedge in hand. But he did what you have to do, which is find the surface and give yourself a chance to hole the putt.
Well, Colin, do you see anybody catching Scotty Scheffele today?
You know, as good as he hit it yesterday, you know, Scotty Scheffele, we talked about his statistics and what he did out on the golf course yesterday. Obviously, he only hit 6 of 14 fairways on round 2. We saw him put in a pretty good range session there, Randy Smith, and came out the next day, 13 of 14 fairways, 14 of 18 greens. You give that man that many opportunities, as good as he is improving on the green, and that's going to be a tough ask for anybody. But we've seen the hole locations, we've seen how the course is played so far this morning, and when you actually go and look at the course in round 4, you know, the front 9, and I know it's early days, it's playing just a shade under par. And we haven't seen that all week. So I think for the guys teeing off later this afternoon, we saw it just a moment ago, the leaderboard. I think for them, they're watching the early coverage. They're seeing the pin locations. They're making notes. They're taking notes. They're watching that wind just start to increase a little bit. Like I said, coming out of a slightly different direction this morning, west. But it is due to turn around and play west-southwest, which was the wind direction yesterday. And they'll be making some notes and fine-tuning things. But boy, oh boy, you've got to think that the world #1 Scotty Scheffele, as you said a little bit earlier in the telecast, I think it's his for the taking.
No doubt about it. As T.Kim lining up his putt here. Look at the rounds currently out on the course. Sam Burns with the round of the day so far. He's 5 under through 8. Xander Schauffele 3 under on the day. Sergio Garcia is 4 under on the day after starting the day 9 over par for the championship. And now it's T.Kim to putt first here at the 12th, Joanna.
Tom and his caddy were joking with me, like, tough crowd. No applause on that one from the rough. That was fortunate to stay up there. So now he's a good luck. A little uphill right to left.
Everyone's got barbecue and an adult beverage. Got no hands to clap.
And a cell phone in the other hand.
Yes, they do. That one just teased him. Looked great the entire way. Just ran out of puff.
Maybe we need to send Joanna out there with an applause sign.
They need to know what a good shot is.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's as a player, it's a blind shot. So you're like, did it stay on the green? No idea. This will be quick, moving a little to his right.
I've had one personal interaction, guys, with T.Kim over the years. I was sitting greenside at the Genesis Invitational, like you were just mentioning, Colin. I was enjoying a beverage and a sandwich, and Mr. Kim missed the green, and his ball trickled just under my napkin. I didn't know what to do. Sat there, waited for a rules official to come over. Tom was not too pleased that I was eating while he was trying to make his approach shot. And I'm sure just as memorable for him as it was for me as we moved to the 13th hole.
Yeah, gorgeous hole here. Multiple teeing boxes, one up to the top left and several down on the bottom right here. All about the angles here at the 13th pin location. You couldn't put much more in the center of the green here. 28 paces on, 10 off the left. Today playing 212 yards. The 13th hole has played as short as 196. And today, with that wind, you can see just starting to pick up a little bit, blowing down and off the left-hand side. I think you're going to see some close ones here today.
Would you say this is the easiest hole location on the screen, Colin?
I would say it's the easiest one, yeah.
98 cover, try to pitch it 5 over that.
The only thing you don't want to do here is miss it long left.
I mean, you can go 205. I don't think that's going to hold the green. Okay. I was trying to get mine. I think either mine's questionable, but my number is still 5 over the cover.
Okay.
Five over the cover. That means 5 over the bunker on the left.
It's like 5 off.
Yeah, I like that. Big gust coming in. That's like straight off the left line.
Too, like, as long as our ball's online, if it does go just over, that's fine. I still like our number a lot.
Yep, just 5 off.
Yep, 5 off.
This is missing right in that bowl. Pitching up over across the green, but definitely some indecision there.
Wow, that's down there where we saw Jon Rahm hit that absolute fizzer in round 1. I wonder if we're going to see it from T.Kim.
We've been able to watch a short game shot from that spot each round.
Yeah, that's a huge collection area down at the front right of the green here. Remember, folks, this whole green complex does tilt from back to front and a little bit from left to right as well. That pin location that was up in the back right gave everybody fits.
Well, hopefully that is short left rather than pin high left. It'll make it a little bit easier.
Well, that it is, Joanna.
Couple tough tee shots from the Kims here at hole number 13, par 3. Work to do.
The greens are green. The fairways are green. The jacket, for a few of them, is green. The mile is green. 16, 17, and 18 at Quail Hollow. The money they win for hitting a tiny white ball is green. The losers will be green with envy, and the winners will leave the green expanse of grass behind the gates of this place, reflecting in the mirrored sterling silver of a trophy strapped into the front seat like a friend.
Xander Schauffele taking home the Wanamaker last year at Valhalla. And Scotty Scheffler trying to close out his first PGA Championship later on today as we welcome you back. Our featured group coverage, Eric Rothman, Colin Swatton, Joanna Coe here with you at the par 3 13th. Both players, Joanna, off the green, and it's Tom Kim to go first.
Yes, Tom Kim pitching across the green. Walked up, tried to pick a landing spot. I can see this being a mid-trajectory, touch little bit of spin. Yeah, well done.
Well, not the fizz that we saw with Jon Rahm earlier in the week, but certainly a very good little pitch shot there. 15 to 30 in up and downs so far this week. That's just 50%.
Michael Kim has an okay lie here. Does have to navigate a little bit of a false front right in front of him. Then this ball's going to travel to his right. Looks like he's going to elevate above that false front. Giving him a thumbs up.
Thumbs up indeed. One will settle just outside the marker of Tom Kim. I'd like to see Wright Thompson, Colin, do a piece on player ball markers. We've seen some interesting ones out here. So these guys choose some superstitious ball markers and like to stick with the same ones. Saw Matt Fitzpatrick with like a Frisbee out there for earlier this week for his ball marker.
Yeah, most of these guys, they have a go-to marker, something, you know, like you said, maybe that has an emotion or feeling or sentiment towards it. I know Jason Day used to always grab a handful when he was at Augusta National of the Augusta National ball markers, and he'd always use one of those just to remind himself. You got a lucky one, Joanna?
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll find out Joanna has one.
I'm not superstitious, even though you would think I am. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but I just grab whatever's in the bag, and it's usually a pretty nice club that I've played in the past year or so. So I always just kind of by chance.
I was going to say, being the director of instruction at Marion, you've probably got a pretty much a ticket to anywhere you want to play.
That's pretty nice. Have not played Augusta, but I have checked off a lot of the top 100 and very fortunate. I love this game, love the industry, very lucky. Just want to keep this one firm inside the hole. Uphill.
I know Marion's always in fantastic condition, but when do you think's the best time of the year for myself and Eric to come up and have a clip?
Oh, the early fall. It's just perfect golf in the Northeast.
There you go, Eric.
Ready to go. We might have to tee off at 4:30 in the morning so we don't get in the way of the members, but we'll do it. No problem. Couple pars here for our group at the 13th. I think probably, Colin, the strategy is we just show up at this point, and Joanna will be forced to let us on the course.
I'll say there's these two guys in the car park that are trying to get into the golf club.
They say they know Joanna. Short par 4 here at the 14th.
Oh, what a great hole, too, the 14th is. Played us 304 yards yesterday. Today, 330 yards. Pin location all the way in the back right-hand portion. Don't want to miss this green right today. It will be a very difficult up and down. 293 yards to the front of the green. That'll entice a lot of the field to have a bit of a go at this green location. I think anything down at that front portion of the green will be a good lead, and then you can just pitch it straight up the length of this green and try and make your 3 that way. Look at that. 9 eagles have been made on this hole this week. 15 that were made at the par 5 15th, and only 4 at the par 5 7th. So it is a real opportunity, and that is the reason it's got a stroke average of 3.72. And what a gorgeous, gorgeous view. Of course, from the 14th green over there to the start of the green mile is the 16th. And you've got the tee box just in front of that grandstand up there to the island green 17th. But right now, we are firmly focused on Mr. T.Kim back on the tee here with looks like less than driver.
It sure does. Wind off the left. Looks like he's trying to hit something just short and right. This is fading a little farther right than he may have wanted. Oh, friendly bounce. Okay, good. We're safe. All right,
Scotty Scheffler, a couple of the names, Joanna, with the Eagles here at this hole on the week. Sepp Straka had one. His power as well. So it's out there to get it if you can roll it up onto this back pin location.
That's right. It's a pretty small target. So credit Scotty Scheffler, just amazing control. Yeah, driver here for M.Kim. He's at the lefts today. This is a good one. Good line.
That boy's good.
Let's see if he can get it inside what Scotty Scheffler did yesterday. 2 foot 9 inches. Oh.
Almost ran out of that bunker with all the speed it had on it. Settles in. Scotty was in within 3 feet. Max Homo was within 2 feet off the tee for Eagle at 14 earlier this week. All eyes on Scotty Scheffler, the world #1 and the leader by 3, heading into his final round. Tee time coming up at 2:40 p.m. Eastern. Cool, calm, and collected, as always, all smiles as Scotty looks for the 3rd major championship of his career. Alex Noren will be paired with him. There'll be an opportunity for some guys who maybe don't pop off the leaderboards in casual golf fan conversation too often, like Davis Riley or JT Poston. Chance for them to make a name for themselves with a run at Scotty here on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting watching that unfold. You can see it there. Alex Noren at 8, Scotty Schauffele at 11. The names Riley, Poston, Rahm, and Siwoo Kim, owner of that hole-in-one at the 6th yesterday. You know, I just look at that front 9 of Scotty Schauffele. He's made 2 bogeys and 8 birdies. He's 6 under on that front side. If he goes out and does what he's been doing the first 3 days, he's going to be difficult to sort of trap down. But I think if you can create a little bit of pressure, that back 9, anything can happen, especially as you got those closing holes, the Green Mile.
70 yards here.
Scoring holes.
Sorry, 70 yards here for T.Kim. Ball significantly above his feet. For those at home, that's a little bit of a pull tendency. Winds off the left, that'll help keep this ball in line. Sizzle, nice.
Was that sizzle, Eric?
I think it was.
Did you? Was that sizzle, Joanna?
You said fizzle, and then she said sizzle. I got it all
Yes.
covered.
Like it.
I'm just following my leader.
There
As long as there's no drizzle, as long as the golf course is dry, that's all we care about.
Oh, perfect. We were talking barbecue, and next thing we got sizzle. I love that. I love myself a good sausage sizzle.
I might start adopting your accent too, the barbecue and the pa.
I've tried to tone it down a little bit too. It's sometimes.
I love it. Keep it.
If I get around too many Aussies at you know, sort of when I go home, my wife can't understand what I'm talking about. She's like, "What are you saying?" It gets thicker and thicker and thicker. So.
I thought that was just a South Hilton Head accent there, Colin. I didn't realize that was Australia.
Yeah, south.
Pretty nice lie here for Mickelson into the wind. Should help him. Pretty standard bunker shot.
Yeah. You put the world's best in these great bunkers around the Quail Hollow Club. You're going to do that more often than not. In fact, a lot of these players would actually prefer to see the ball in the bunkers than the rough. It's a little bit more predictable for them. Oh, nice little 10 to the pin there too from Michael. Look at that.
Elevate your golf
just
game.
Gorgeous.
Find a PGA coach. And speaking of you two coaches, is there one thing that you see most consistently that amateurs do wrong out of the bunkers?
Yes, they fall backwards trying to lift the ball over the lip in front of them, causing low point issues. So they enter the sand too far behind the ball, and that causes thin where it skids into the ball, or they just flat out chunk it. So I like to get my students to get their pressure on their lead foot by shifting their sternum and their left leg more over that left side if you're a right-handed player, and staying over there in your downswing.
Absolute gold there from Joanna. I think also too the concept. I think the idea and the concept of what you're trying to do with the bounce of the club and things like that. I know in my lessons sometimes in the bunker I put a bounce board in there and just get them educated to how you're trying to enter the sand and create the bounce to get the ball out. As Kim now with a great look here for birdie. Looked like a pretty good stroke. It didn't look like he pushed it at all.
It did. It was a good stroke. Tough little, I mean, my greens book, the arrows are pointing in all different directions on this little quarter of the green. If anything, this putt might travel to his left, but inside the hole here.
Well done for Michael Kim. He's got that putter, Colin. It looks like, remember when Prince changed his name to a symbol? That looks like what that putter is shaped like that Michael Kim uses, but he knocks in the birdie here at the 14th. Then we move to the par 5 15th, 586 yards consistently. One of the easiest holes on this course.
That's given up 15 eagles so far through 3 rounds of golf. Elevated tee shot down to the plateau. And if you can find the fairway here, it's an uphill second shot into this green. You can see the 2 bunkers down the sort of far right-hand side trying to protect their entrance point. And then that one that sits so proudly at the front of the green here at 15, that gobbles up anything that is not struck absolutely on the button. Seeing this pin location pretty much everywhere, front left, front right, and now all the way in the back right portion. We're going to see some eagles, and we're going to see a whole host of birdies here today. It's this little stretch of holes, you've referenced it, Eric, 14 and 15. You've got to make some hay.
Wow, a balk. Did you see that?
Yeah. Wow. It looked like almost like his wrist just clicked a little or popped maybe in the downswing.
A little old school Tiger Woods there.
Yeah, I like that. A little throwback.
Winds
Did a
off
lot
the
back
left.
in the day.
This one is missing right. Watch out.
Just came out of posture a little bit. And scampering a little bit further right. There's a cart path down there.
Michael has birdied this hole every day so far this week, but now with the patrons now.
Practice swing might suggest Tom is going to let the handle out on this one a little. Let's see if that left foot comes up off the ground in an effort to try and create a little bit more rotation, a little bit more width, give this one a little bit more pop.
This one's starting up the left. Fading towards that bunker. Soft bounce, okay.
Yeah, 174 mile-an-hour ball speed. Pretty good tickle for Tom.
Michael Kim, a little hesitation, pump fake, and a restart before driving it in to the trees.
Well, just eyeballing it, but that seems like it'll hold about 17,213 Miller High Lifes.
Somebody will be celebrating with some cold ones, maybe inside the Wanamaker Trophy after today. Although if it's Scotty Scheffler, Colin, you have a newborn, I don't know how much partying you want to do. You got to be up for those night changes and night feedings, and got to be up early in the morning. I wonder how much formula you could fit in that Wanamaker Trophy, let alone Miller High Life's Scotty Scheffler, 11 under par. Going to be teeing off at 2:40 Eastern coming up on the main telecast. Joanna, what's M.Kim have to deal with here?
Not ideal here. This is either a huge high fade around the tree in front of him. Issue is we have this lake that he has to cover on the left. So it's either a chip out or big curving shot around this tree, making sure it covers the water. I'm not sure how far the water is.
Well, we're getting a good look at we're getting a good look at that lie right now. It almost looks like when he puts the club down, he's going to get a lot of grass between here and the club face and the ball, Joanna.
That's right. That's right. I would not be wanting to hit this. Skirts the tree. Wow. He made that look pretty easy.
Well, we see the water that you were talking about. Boy, he took a lot of risk right there. But now he is rewarded with getting a scoring wedge in hand to that back pin location. Try and do it. Make birdie the old school way, 3-shotter. This man over here, T.Kim, he's looking to try and do it the new fashion way. Knock it on the green and hole a putt for eagle possibly.
That's right. Nice tee shot here. Ball's a little above the feet. Wind is held off the left. This is heading towards those right bunkers.
Oh boy. I believe that's found the first of those two bunkers that you reference down the right side there. That is going to be a long bunker shot. Knocked it over the back of the green here when we had him earlier in the week as our featured group.
Plenty of action all around the virtual dial. 4 different feature groups and holes on ESPN Plus. Xander Schauffele, who made the cut on the number. It's a nice round going for himself today. Fleetwood, you see Colin Morikawa with his new caddy, Joe Greiner. Joe getting in the work, getting down and dirty. And the featured holes, 14, 15, and 16. Plenty of options all day long. And then, of course, the main telecast as well this afternoon. Last I checked, Colin, the duo of Schauffele and Burns were combined 8 under this morning on their rounds. It's currently 7 under. Sam is 4 under on the day, 2 under on the tournament. Xander 3 under on the day, 1 under on the tournament.
Yeah, sometimes the case, you're pairing, you can almost draft off each other. And that's the case there for Sam Burns. Drafting off each other. Conversely, sometimes you can get a pairing and you just can't seem to get anything going. And it can work in your disadvantage.
So M.Kim, Joanna, did well for himself to get out of trouble and into position here for his 3rd shot into this par 5.
He sure did. Now he has 110. Plays up about 7. Wind is into off the left. We know the screen is pitched severely back to front. So it's all about managing how far he wants to throw it, maybe beyond this pin. Seeing how much it's going to spin back towards him. Left and short.
Well, I think if we were to ask Michael to grade that one, he might grade that one C+, maybe even a B-. Make that beautiful long bomb eagle back at the 7th. Just one birdie on the card.
The shot looks treacherous, Joanna.
Yes, it's one of the hardest shots in golf. They say that 40 to 50 yard bunker shot. But it appears he's got a gap wedge. And he's just going to play this like a splashing bunker shot. Try to land this onto the green. It's going to check up pretty quick. Severe green into the wind. Uh-oh, ball first.
Well, that's always the difficulty. You know, get those long bunker shots. You're trying to get just a little bit of sand before you hit the golf ball. Sometimes you get the golf ball before the sand. It comes out over the back.
Well, Tom is not quite putting yet, but we'll step aside and visit our friends in Frisco, Texas for a putting demonstration with Natalie Sheehan at the PGA of America Coaching Center.
We just saw T.Kim make 3 birdies today so far, and he is putting relatively well. But I wanted to share with you one of my absolute favorite putting tips, and that is to use a metronome. So you can just go on Google, type in metronome, set it at 78 beats per minute. I'm going to play it for you so you can hear. Just does that tick, tick. So I've got these set up on either side of my golf ball that are equidistant from the center tee, and I'm just going to practice going back and through on the beat. So this is really excellent to help with your distance control on the greens. If your tempo is excellent, your distance control will be as well. So let's go ahead and try and hit one here. And you can make really great putts and have excellent distance control using that metronome on all different length putts. And it's going to help you make more putts and get them closer to the hole.
That's great, Natalie. Thank you. 78 beats per minute on the metronome there.
So important for you to work on your tempo, consistent tempo from stroke to stroke, and just change length of stroke. That was, I'd say, A- chip for T.Kim there on the back portion of the screen. It wasn't quick. He respected it, landed a shot just short of it, and let it run to the hole. Kim's uphill, traveling a little to his right.
Just hasn't been able to figure out the speed. He's come up short a number of times today, and that's kind of your last really good opportunity to make a birdie. You got the green mile just about to come up. Those holes, the green mile, 16, 17, and 18. 16 is ranked as the 3rd most difficult, the 17th the 2nd most difficult. And we're handing out free golf balls, Eric, if you can guess what the 18th is playing.
Well, I know that the combined score for the 3 holes this week is clocking in currently at 427 over par.
Oh my goodness.
And so you're right, this is the last real opportunity to pick up a stroke. And then you just hope for the best.
This is a bit downhill, moving a touch to his right. All depends on pace. He went outside the hole with too much pace. Got to match that line and speed.
Paul Tesori might need to whip out the metronome for T.Kim. A real tough bogey at the easiest hole on the course. Setting himself up to go into the green mile. Starting the par 4 16th. Let's look at the scoring averages between 2017, the last time the PGA Championship was here, and this year, doubles or worse. 74 so far this week. Over 420 plus to par. And this is how those 3 holes are situated. The par 4 16th, the par 3 17th, and the par 4 18th coming back to the clubhouse. See the water all down the left side here at 16.
I can tell you that they have shortened the 16th, some 20 yards from what it was yesterday. Yesterday it was a beast. 535 yards today, 515, but that is not the case for 17 and 18th, adding over 50 yards to 17 and 18. It is going to be a really, really stout finish. M.Kim, he's navigated the green mile fairly well. In fact, he's only 1 over on holes 16 to 18 this week. Whereas T.Kim has really struggled at 9 over par.
Oh, please. Oh.
Just leaking a little right, caught that bunker.
Begging for it to draw there, Colin.
Yeah, and it clipped the lip of that bunker. Did you see that? Kicked up in the air and came down, and now is actually sitting in its own depression. That's a tough break there. I wonder if pushing a tee up today is in an effort to try and get guys to challenge that bunker down the right side.
Starting this farther left.
Right where you want to be, in the middle of the fairway. T.Kim looking for some redemption here at the green mile as we begin the toughest stretch of this golf course. Final 3 holes for our featured group. players with some hopes of making a Sunday charge. Matt Fitzpatrick will be teeing off. 6 back of the leader, Scotty Scheffler, on the course at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Matthew Pavone will be joining him. Frenchman, also 5 under par for the championship. It's going to take a lot of work to catch and surpass Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, it's just a case of, how far is too far. Trying to chase down the #1 player in the world, Scotty Scheffler, on a golf course that he feels extremely comfortable on.
Now Michael Kim in that fairway bunker. And this is directions of those tee shots we saw a moment ago, and it just didn't draw all the way back for Michael Kim. So he's in the middle of that bunker, but as Colin mentioned, took a flip off of the lip and came back into its own depression. So might not be the cleanest of lies. Joanna, have you made it up to that bunker yet?
I did. Caddy was perturbed, not sitting well, especially on this hole. He has 182. Winds off the right.
Maybe help.
Just looking to try to make decent contact and get something towards the front right portion of the green.
I think it's right up 82. 10:30.
Yeah, starting at the left edge of that.
I like starting at the 1, letting the wind have it.
10:30 is the reference for the direction of the wind. Players like to use that as a reference. Some will point with their hands or their arms. Some will use a compass.
T.Kim first to play, 180 yards. Does play down 5 or 6 yards. Gonna use the wind direction to help feed this ball into this hole location on the left.
Way down on the front left portion of the green, 6 on, 6 off the left. A little dangerously left, remember.
That's starting left of it.
Oh no.
Okay, it's stopped in the rough. Whew. Must have been a mishit. That was short and left.
Tom has made double bogey on the Green Mile each of the first 3 rounds. Hasn't done it at the 16th hole, but not a great shot out of the middle of the fairway there.
Not at all. Much tougher shot here for Michael Kim. This is just short of the flag. Yep. It's just super hard to make clean contact out of that, but shouldn't be the most difficult short game shot.
Yeah, well, that obviously coming up well short, and that was a product of what you mentioned just a moment ago, Eric. This was an unfortunate break here. Ball starting down the right-hand side, but just watch what happens to this ball, folks, when it comes into the bunker. It goes up the lip and then pops down into the bunker. And great camera work to pick it up there. It fell down into its own depression, and that is the reason that Michael Kim really struggled to get that one on the green. Great work there to be able to track that ball. That might have been Mr. Clark Rupert down there that got that with that camera.
We got Yancey, Robert, Bill, Justin all manning the cameras today. Doing a great job for us here on our featured group coverage. We appreciate them. Getting down and dirty sometimes. T.Kim stopping in the middle of his walk to work on some things.
There's our eyes and ears on the ground right there, Joanna Coe. Nice little wave. How many steps did you get in? in the last few days, Joanna?
I have no idea. I didn't even wear my Apple Watch. But today feels easy with 2 players. You know, with 3 players, you're hustling, trying to assess all the lies. But I'm cruising with two players. I can go again.
When I get the good fortune to walk around on the grounds and follow the best players in the world, it's usually around about 18,000 steps, 19,000 steps, depending on how many holes you do. And I tell you what, I'm with you, Joanna. It doesn't feel like 18,000 steps when you're getting to watch the best in the world play on a venue such as this one.
I'd say these are 2 standard short game shots that players practice a lot. Kim, short of the green, can really hit this anywhere, short of the green, onto the green, depends on club selection and the amount of spin he is picturing.
We've got a great view there, great camera angle. He's set up there, nice narrow stance, hands forward, trying to get his head a little bit forward too.
Yeah, well done. That's where you want to leave it. Nice uphiller for his par. I did not get to check out Tom's lie in the rough, but uphill should help this golf ball stop pretty quickly. It's also into the wind and an upslope.
2 things in his favor, the upslope and into the wind, will make this shot so much more manageable. Go ahead and chip it in, Tom.
Ooh, are you calling this one? Oh,
Well,
not so much.
I'm not giving away lotto numbers, that's for sure. After that call.
Joanna, have you settled in on a name for this lake yet?
No, I want like drone footage and the shape of it. I feel like it looks like some type of animal shape, so I need a flyover.
For T.Kim, Colin, who came in to today, the previous 3 rounds, his strokes gained around the green cumulative was +5.5. Today, -2.3. So where he has excelled for the first 3 days around the green, he has really struggled here in this one.
Yeah, and so much of that is where he's left the ball. You know, he's just been out of position, leaving it in some tough spots to get up and down, and that's the one flaw with strokes gained, is that it doesn't take into consideration where you're starting from and the difficulty of the shot. And that one just slides by for T.Kim. That is another one he's going to chalk up to the green mile.
It's frustrating when you hit a great tee shot. Okay, you forgive yourself for the approach, but need to chip that one closer. That's just not a high percentage par putt.
And also too, when that ball, that pin location's down on the front left-hand side with that wind where it was from, you know, really got to take the fat side of that green, and that's something that man at the top of the leaderboard does more often than not. Great distance control, and generally speaking, 90+% of the time he's on the fat side of the pins. He does it better than anybody, and Tiger Woods was well known for that.
Uphill should be inside the hole. Hit it firm.
Yeah, great look there at that lab putter. A lot of guys have switched to that. Good technology.
Even on the day for Mickelson, eagle, a birdie, and 3 bogeys heading into the final 2 holes. Par 3 17th upcoming for our pairing. About an hour and a half away from leaders teeing off here at Quail Hollow. What do we see at this par 3 17th, Colin?
Well, it's an elevated tee shot. I mentioned the challenge coming home. The green mile, 16, 17, 18. 29 yards have been added to this hole from yesterday. Well, yesterday playing 187 today. They have stretched it out to what you see there, 216 yards. Now the pin, it's up on top of a little shelf over in the left-hand portion of the green here. Anything that's coming in with too much movement from right to left and is releasing towards this pin actually could bounce and kick down into the penalty area. You've got to be very specific on your down target, and also too maybe even try and hit something back against the breeze a little bit to control it. Great look back from beyond the tee, beyond the green, back towards the tee, way back up there. 28 birdies, 123 bogeys. Look at that, 23 others, 3.37. It's a stout one.
Maybe we'll get the first ace of the week here. Be pretty remarkable, given how hard this hole has played, but I feel like we're due. We're due for one big last firework before we finish our coverage here.
M.Kim first to play, selecting his line. You pick a spot behind the screen, focus on that start direction. Winds off the right, a little bit of help. This is starting just right of the flag, moving towards it.
It's got some promise, Eric.
Ooh. Gave it a go, M.Kim. Settles up against the collar on the backside of the green.
It might make for a tricky little blade, maybe a belly wedge or something like that, resting up against the thicker cut of the primary rough at the back of the green. What a great place to sit and watch some golf there in that grandstand.
Kim double bogeyed this hole yesterday.
Gotta erase those memories. New day. This is starting just right of the green, not drawing enough.
That was really mishit. Did well just to get on land.
Kim, the frustrations continue. Coming off a double bogey at this hole yesterday, looking to scramble again on Sunday.
we go. Every year, you ask the same question, still get them wrong.
The Wanamaker Trophy, which is 32 pounds. What weighs more, the Wanamaker or a NASCAR tire?
I would have to say the Wanamaker Trophy. It sounds like a trick question.
Tire's got to be more heavy. I would think the tire has to be lighter because they're trying to keep weight down. Or maybe they are trying. I don't know. Let's go with Wanamaker.
A brief glimpse into the mind of Bryson DeChambeau. Always trying to figure out the calculations. Wanamaker Trophy, Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we are back at the 17th green. Featured group coverage winding down. And T.Kim, Joanna, I mentioned, probably either muttering to himself or to Paul Tesori walking down towards this ball.
Yeah, muttering himself from the tee shot and this lie. It is sitting down. It almost feels like a half divot. Sitting down, unfortunate here. He's got to pitch it across the spine, in the middle of this green. If he starts this too far left, travels away from the hole, starts it too far right, it's going to end up towards Michael. So interesting shot here. It's pretty well done. See, it's moving left at the end there.
Yeah, that one was almost like, if I could coin a bit of an Australian surfer term, he was surfing the crest of the wave, looking to drop in at the right time, and he's just dropped out at the very last bit. And as we pan back out there, you'll see that spine that Joanna was referencing. And there it is there. Yeah, great camera work there. You can see sort of left, it falls left, and right, it falls right. It's on top of a crown, and boy, oh boy, that flagstick is getting buffeted by the wind. Is it really starting to pick up out there?
It sure is. This breeze feels nice for me, but I'm not hitting the golf ball. Michael Kim's lie on the collar. He can get decent amount of club on this. That's why I think he's selecting the putter. Might have to hover just a little bit, kind of aim for the top third of the golf ball. But it's sitting okay considering it's up on this collar.
Well, trying to hit that top third of the golf ball sometimes when you do that generates a little bit more overspin. One of the few that he's actually got to or past the hole today. That might have been just a product of hitting that top of that ball, creating a little more top spin. A beautiful shot in there, though. Dave, once you get an hour or so of that breeze and the sunshine and these greens, you're going to get some bounce and become a little frisky as the day goes on.
T.Kim has to go just over the crest of that little ridge that he was riding. Should go to his left just a touch and straighten back out again.
Seems he's had this length putt a number of times today for par.
Three straight bogeys now for T.Kim, and just nothing going his way, Colin.
Yeah, just unfortunate to see that. It's, you know, kind of been a little bit of the trend of the year. You know, plays a lot of good golf, and then, you know, strings a 2 or 3 hole stretch. This green mile, 16, 17, and 18 has really annoyed Tom. You know, 11 over now for those 3 holes over 4 days.
Michael Kim remains even on the day, 5 over for the championship as we head to the final hole for our featured group. Steady scorecard for Michael Kim over the last 8 holes. And we move to the par 4 18th. The most difficult hole on the course. What makes this so difficult, Colin?
Well, it's a narrow little fairway to hit in the beginning. Also, too, the creek that meanders the entire length of this hole, right from the tee shot all the way up to the green. Also, you've got a bunker over to the right and a sea of trees, so it's a difficult, challenging tee shot. But if you manage to find the fairway, you can be rewarded. A good shot, and then our traditional Sunday pin placement here in the back left-hand portion, up on top of that top shelf. This hole has played as the most difficult the entire week. Playing 22 yards longer, in fact, than it did yesterday. Yesterday it was only 482 yards today. Over 500 yards, 504. It's a beast, 37 birdies. That's all that's been made here in, let's just call it 3.5 days of play. And you saw all the bogeys and others. As it looks like Austin Eckroat is maybe trying to remove the microphone stand.
Birdie bogey here for Michael Kim. That is pretty darn good. They get 2 bogeys here at the 18th this week.
Well, he found a little something off the tee. Last few have been great.
Just been hitting that little draw pretty much all day. Struggled finding the fairway early, missing it left. Doesn't look happy at the moment, Tom. You can see the wind into and from the left.
This one traveling towards that right bunker.
Frustrations continue for Tom Kim. He is just ready to get off this golf course, get a cold shower, and forget about this weekend. Been a masterclass for Scotty Scheffler so far this week. Some highlights from his third round yesterday. Just trailing by 1 heading into the 14th hole. And how about that tee shot for Eagle? Becomes the co-leader. Follows it up at 15 with a birdie there. And then even the Green Mile can't tame Scotty Scheffler. Picked up 2 more strokes in the final 3 holes of the day with birdies at 17 and 18. He is the only player with rounds in the 60s all 3 days this week. 5 under in the final 5 holes. Yesterday, the best 5-hole stretch of his major career. And if he does that again today, Colin, he will win this tournament going away. A 3-shot lead already. And you mentioned, Colin, how good he's been on the front 9, and back 9 just as good yesterday as well.
Yeah, the cream certainly has a way of rising to the top. And you know, I don't think if you had have asked Scotty Scheffler as he was walking off 13 green towards 14 tee box, it's like, hey, you know what? You're going to play those last, few holes in 5 under par. Pretty impressive. But that's the thing, is what great players do is they seize those opportunities, those moments in time. They create their own momentum. And Scotty Scheffler does it better than anybody at the moment.
And T.Kim has found a bunker on the fairway, Joanna.
He has. I think he's electing to go first because I don't think he's reaching the green with this. 202 yards. We have lip issues, no tree issues, but lip issues. Yep, just electing to advance it down the fairway.
Yeah, the way he was looking down there too, I don't think it was the greatest of contact for him either. And as we pan back out, you can see that's going to be a lengthy little wedge shot to that back left pin location. We talked about it in the flyover. It's a tough fairway to hit, but if you can hit it, you can certainly attack this pin.
Sure is. Mickelson switching clubs. 206, winds hurt off the left. We would look to start something right at the flag and let the wind just take it towards the middle of the green.
Gorgeous tee shot back at 17. Painted the flag stick the entire way.
This one's just on the right half of the green.
And that one not his best. A good stretch.
As we wind down our featured group coverage, we just want to say thank you. Appreciate everybody joining us all week long on this ESPN Plus featured group channel. We've had a lot of time to spend at this golf course, and we've enjoyed every minute of it, and we appreciate you joining us as well. Colin, Joanna, hopefully we get a chance to do it again next year. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll all enjoy watching the afternoon golf to see how this tournament shakes out. Still 109 yards left to go for T.Kim after laying up out of the bunker.
Those grandstands up the left-hand side. Also to the grassy banks. You'll see a number of patrons come in very early in the day, and they set up their little deck chairs, their little seats all the way along that left side. You can see a whole bunch of vacant ones there. They'll come in, place their seat, and allow anybody to come in and sit there, and then when they turn up and say, hey, it's my time to watch Scotty Scheffler coming up 18, you've got the perfect vantage point to do it.
You're here.
T.Kim deciding how he wants to play this shot. With the wind into, navigating a little slope in front of this hole location, deciding whether to play beyond it, bring it back with some spin, or hit something a little off speed. He hit that pretty full. Yep.
Nice effort there from T.Kim. Get a pin high just to the right.
And now Mickelson walking up to his ball just off the green. You see the folding chairs that Colin was talking about. Yeah, Mickelson has been a nice steady season for him, playing in his second major of the year after making the first Masters appearance of his career. Let's grind it out this round here today. I'm sure for Michael, after having to withdraw last week, just happy to be healthy enough to make it through 4 days here in Charlotte.
Mickelson just threw up 3 fingers for aim point, so he's looking probably a couple feet out to the right here. That means 3 degrees of slope. That's what his educated guess is. Pretty quick in the beginning, swinging right to left.
It's a little bit more pace.
T.Kim straddling the line, feeling slope under his feet. He even closed his eyes. This will be a little downhill, right to left.
3 straight bogeys coming into this hole. To finish it out with a par.
He does not like the green mile.
No, he does not. He will put in his 4th straight bogey to finish the round. 4 over par on the day. 9 over for the championship. Back-to-back 75s on the weekend.
That's amazing, you know. There he is at 9 over par for the championship after 4 rounds, and he was 12 over just on the green mile alone.
A nice back nine for Kim. Rolls in the par. Even par round for him. 5 over for the championship as we say goodbye from our featured group coverage here on ESPN Plus. We have really enjoyed bringing it to you all week long. We're going to sit back and watch like the rest of you and see if Scotty Scheffler can hold on and take home the Wanamaker. For Joanna Coe and Colin Swatton and our entire crew, I'm Eric Rothman. Thank you for watching our ESPN Plus featured group coverage of the 2025 PGA Championship from Quail Hollow Club.
Do it again. I will for sure. Hopefully we get to do it again in Roramik. You got the Roramik.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, you guys too.
See ya.
Bye.